हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण उषा भाटिया माता जी, नमः प्रणाम माता जी। Hare Krishna, all the devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances and Dandavat Pranam to all of you. I invite you to the early morning short Bhagavatam class organized by ISKCON Radha Govinda Temple, Kulai, Mangaluru. And I indeed invite you for and on behalf of His Grace Sri Ramanishwadas Prabhuji. We shall begin with the prayers, and I would request you all to go through prayer, your own prayers, keeping the mute button on.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, प्रणाम
Hare
प्रभु जी।
Krishna Mataji, Nandan Pranam. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudhapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavascha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagar Lalitas Vishakhanvitas He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute. Oh, Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpatarubhyasya Kripasindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे प्लीज फॉलो मी ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम
ओम
नमो
नमो
भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय।
वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम
ओम
नमो
नमो भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय।
वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
ओम
ओम
नमो
नमो
भगवते
भगवते
वासुदेवाय।
वासुदेवाय।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमम्
नारायणं
नारायणं
नमस्कृत्य
नमस्कृत्य
नरं
नरं
चैव
चैव
नरोत्तमम्
नरोत्तमम्
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
व्यासं
ततो
ततो
जयमुदीरये।
जयमुदीरयेत्।
शृणतां स्वकथः कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः
शृण्वतां सकताः
सकताः
कृष्णः
कृष्णः
पुण्याश्रवणकीर्तनः
पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः
हृदयन्तस्तोयभद्राणि विदुनोति सुरीस्थिता
हृद्यन्तसो
हृद्यन्तस्तुयभद्राणि
यभद्राणि
विदुनोति
विदुनोति
सुहृत्सदा
सुहृत्सताम्
नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया
नष्टप्रायेषु
नष्टप्रायेषु
अभद्रेषु
अभद्रेषु
नित्यं
नित्यं
भागवत
भागवत
सेवया
सेवया
भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी
भगवती
भगवती
उत्तमश्लोके
उत्तमश्लोके
भक्तिर्भवति
भक्तिर्भवति
नैष्टिकी
नैष्टिकी
नित्यं भागवत सेवया दररोज every day reciting Srimad Bhagavatam will certainly remove all inauspicious things from life and bestow a Naistiki Bhakti with the help of Lord Krishna whom we worship. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Prescribed Duties for Mankind, Chapter 5, Narada Muni, cursed by Prajapati Daksha, verse number 17. Those who want to recite the verse can raise their hands. Panchavimshanti Tattvanam Purusho Adbhutarpana Adhyatmanam Adhyatmanam Abudasya Sheya Kim Asat Karma Bir Bhavet Madhumai Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी प्रणाम प्रभु जी ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय पंचविंशति तत्वानां पुरुषो अद्भुत दर्पणः अध्यात्मम् अबुदस्येह किम असत्कर्मभिर्भवेत् थैंक यू प्रभु जी हरे कृष्ण
Thank you. Chitra Mohini Devi Dasai. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी प्रणाम प्रभु जी ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय पंचविंशति तत्वानां पुरुषोद्भुतार्पणः अध्यात्मम् अबुधस्नेह किम सत्कर्माभिर्भवेत् हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी
Thank you, Mataji. Usha Dayavati Devi Dasi ji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी प्रणाम प्रभु जी ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय पंचविंशति तत्वानां पुरुष अद्भुत दर्पणः आध्यात्मम् अबुदेश्य इह किम असत्कर्म भी भवे थैंक यू प्रभु जी हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी
Thank you. Subbarao Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandot Pranam Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय पंचविंशति तत्वानां पुरुषोद्भुतदर्पणः अध्यात्ममबुधस्येह किमसत्कर्मभिर्भवेत् हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी
Thank you. Pranadandini Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी प्रणाम प्रभु जी ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय पञ्चविंशतितत्त्वानां पुरुषो अद्भुतदर्पणः आध्यात्मम् अभूतस्येह किम् असत्कर्मभिर्भवेत्। हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी, थैंक यू
Hare
प्रभुजी।
Krishna. Usha Kulkarni Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। पंचविंशति तत्वानां पुरुषो अद्भुत कर्मणः अध्यात्मम् अबुधस्येह किमसत् कर्म भवेत्। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
Thank you. Revati Ratnagi Devi Dasi.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। प्रणाम प्रभु जी। ओम
Hare
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। पंचविंशति तत्वानां पुरुषोम अद्भुत तर्पणः अध्यात्मामबुधस्येह किम असत् कर्म भवेत्। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। थैंक यू सो
Thank
मच।
you. Venkata Narasimha Das Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। पंचविंशति तत्वानां पुरुषो अद्भुत तर्पणः आध्यात्मम् अद्भुत स्नेह किम असत्कर्म भी भवेत्। हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you. Leela Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji. You are muted. Leela Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji. You are muted.
1 second, Prabhu.
No problem.
पंच
Yes, we can hear you.
पञ्चविंशतितत्त्वानां पुरुषोद्भूतदर्पणः अध्यात्मम् अबुद्धस्येह किम् असत्कर्मभिर्भवेत्। थैंक यू प्रभु जी। हरे कृष्ण।
Leela Mataji, can you read the synonyms for us?
यस यस प्रभु।
Just wait.
Madhusoni Mataji had raised a hand.
Sorry?
Madhusoni Mataji had raised the hand.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, yes. Go ahead, Madhusoni Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam, Prabhuji.
Pranam Mataji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Panchavishyati Tattvanam Purusho Adbhuta Darpana Adhyatma Buddhasyeha Kim Sat Karma Bhi Bhavet. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Leela Mataji, go ahead.
यस पंचविंशति 25 Tattvanam of the elements Purushaha, the supreme personality of Godhead, Adbhuta Darpanaha, the wonderful manifester, Adhyatmam, causes and effects, Adbhudasya, of one who does not know, Iha, in this world, Kim Asata Karma Vihi Bhavet, what can be the benefit of engaging in temporary fruitive activities. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Leela Mataji, for wonderful. Hare Krishna Mataji. Translation. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Narad Muni had said that there is a house made of 25 elements. The Haridas understood this analogy. The Supreme Lord is the reservoir of the 25 elements and, as the Supreme Being, the conductor of cause and effect. He causes their manifestation. If one engages in temporary fruitive activities, not knowing that Supreme Person, what benefit will he derive? Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Philosophers and scientists conduct scholarly research to find the original cause, but they should do so scientifically, not whimsically or through fantastic theories. The science of the original cause is explained in various Vedic literatures. Atato Brahma Jignasa Janmadhya Asya Yataha. The Vedanta Sutra explains that one should inquire about the Supreme Soul. Such inquiry about the Supreme is called Brahma Jigyasa. The Absolute Truth Tattva is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. Vedanti tattva vidas tattvam yaj jnanam advyayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti sabhyate. Learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth call this non-dual substance Brahman, Paramatma or Bhagavan. The absolute truth appears to neophyte as impersonal Brahman and to advanced mystic yogis as Paramatma, the super soul. But devotees who are further advanced understand the absolute truth as the Supreme Lord Vishnu. The material cosmic manifestation is an expansion of the energy of the Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu. Ekadesa sthita saryagnar josna varit visitarini yatha parasya brahmana saktis tatha tatedam akhilam jagat. Whatever we see in this world is but an expansion of various energies of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, who is like a fire that spreads illumination for a long distance, although it is situated in one place. That's what is said in Vishnu Purana. The entire cosmic manifestation is an expansion of Supreme Lord. Therefore, if one does not conduct research to find the Supreme Cause, but instead falsely engages in frivolous temporary activities, what is the use of demanding recognition as an important scientist or philosopher? If one does not know the ultimate cause, what is the use of the scientific and philosophical research? The Purusa, the original person, Bhagavan, Vishnu, can be understood only by devotional service. Bhaktyamam abhijanati yavat yas kasmi tattvataha. Only by devotional service can one understand the Supreme Person who is behind everything. One must try to understand that the material elements are the separated inferior energy of the Lord, and that the living entity is the Lord's spiritual energy. Whatever we experience, including matter and the spirit soul, the living force is but a combination of two energies of Lord Vishnu, the inferior energy and the superior energy. One should seriously study the facts concerning creation, maintenance, and devastation, as well as the permanent place from which one never need return. Yad gatva na nirvartante. Human society should study these, but instead of culturing such knowledge, people are attracted to temporary happiness and sense gratification, culminating in bottomless, topless passion. There is no profit in such activities. One must engage himself in Krishna consciousness movement. It's an extension of the verse. This is verse number 17. And previously we saw similar such 6 verses wherein an analogy is being drawn, and Narada Muni has been explaining about the material world vis-a-vis the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. He's trying to drive a point that the Supreme Personality is the ultimate absolute truth. He is the science, and he is the truth, and he is the cause and the effect, the owner of everything, the reason of expansion into a material manifestation. And thus, one must spend time knowing him rather than involving oneself into the material world. Narada Muni has been explaining that, thinking in mind that the sons of Daksha Prajapati would understand easily how temporary the material world is, and whatever has been done in material world is always done for a self, that is sense gratification. And whatever science that you learn is nothing but a simple me science. The ultimate science is the science of Krishna. And unless we scientifically understand that science, rest of the things are frivolous, temporary, and of no use or consequence. Because the material life is short and ends, and at the end point of death, that becomes the zero all around. And so, Srila Prabhupada keeps explaining at the end of each verse what is the profit of spending a lifetime of energy and activities around things which are temporary, which are going to die away. And thus, he goes on explaining in detail what one should learn. Srila Prabhupada explains in detail about the Brahma Jignasa. Everyone must have Brahma Jignasa to understand what the Lord is. Inquire about the Lord and inquire about the energies of the Lord. Not only inquire about the Lord and the Lord's energy, but try and understand how the Lord expands into a material manifestation by expansion of himself and his energies. He goes in detail and says that this is the science one must understand and do a research on this science. If one does that sincerely, then he finds out that there are Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan representation of the absolute truth. The neophyte usually ends up getting the Brahman realization because thus far he can go, his spiritual activities can go, and his thinking can go. However, the mystic yogi can reach up to Paramatma realization and 8 inch of the Lord sitting in each one's heart as a local guru. And but that's the end. He doesn't know beyond super soul or Paramatma. However, devotees, they being much advanced, realizes the personal feature of the Lord, and that is the Bhagavan realization. It's very important that we reach up to Bhagavan realization while understanding the Lord's expansion, Lord's Lord's energies that expands into the material manifestation. Then Srila Prabhupada goes on explaining about the Bhagavan Vishnu and his expansions. And we'll go through some of the basic facts that we have learned from Sri Bhagavad Gita. Can you see the slides?
No, Prabhuji, that Ajnana Timirandasya, that has come.
Okay.
Yes, we can see now.
Thank you. There is an explanation going on about the 25 elements. I'm going through a different area now. That's about the Lord's reservoir, the reservoir of 25 different elements. And these 25 elements make a material body and the material manifestation that we observe all around us. We all know that there are 5 gross elements, 5 knowledge acquiring senses, 5 working senses, and 5 sense subjects. Subtle body, there is mind, intelligence, false ego, and consciousness. So there are 4 subtle bodies, and the Prakriti making all of them into 25. This explains.
Prabhuji, can you repeat this screen?
Sure.
Very nicely depicted, Prabhuji.
Okay. I'll repeat that. Okay. 5 gross elements, 5 knowledge acquiring senses, 5 working senses, 5 sense objects, 4 subtle bodies, mind, intelligence, false ego, and consciousness, and Prakriti. These makes the 25 elements. And then let's look at the expansions. It is simplified to understand. Krishna is the cause of all the causes, expands into Balaram, and that expands into Sankarshana. Of course, Sankarshana is Chaturmukhi, And so it has Vasudeva, Sankarsana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. That Sankarsana gives expansion to Narayana, and that gives second Sankarsana, which in turn gives from second Sankarsana we get Mahavishnu, from Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu to Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. It is simplified on the left-hand side and much easily recognizable at the bottom in the form of a text. So this is how the expansion occurs. Remember, Krishna is the original form, and Krishna, as you know, has 64 characteristics, whereas Vishnu has 60 characteristics. There are 4 more characteristics which are with only Krishna, as we know, Venu Madhurya, Rupa Madhurya, Lila Madhurya, those 4 typical characteristics. If we go a little further, we realize that Garbhodakshaya Vishnu actually expands into Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, and that's in charge of mode of goodness. He is a maintainer, and thus he is a super soul. All of the incarnations emanate from him. Brahma is a master engineer in charge of passion, and he is a secondary creator, or let's say creator of living beings. The primary creator is it creates the planetary system and the Pradhan. And third one is the Shiva, in charge of ignorance, involves in the destruction or devastation of the universe. This depicts in detail the energies of the Lord, different energies or Shaktis of the Lord. There are 2 main, the spiritual and material. Material energy is inferior, and it is popularly known as apara. Apara is lacking in consciousness. Superior energy is spiritual, and it is known as para energy. The para energy then divides into 2 energy, antaranga, you know very well, the internal energy, and tadastha energy or marginal energy. You know, all of you know where we belong. All the jivas, living entity of the souls, belong to tathastha energy and has a choice to desire to go towards Bahiranga or external energy or towards Antaranga or internal energy, and thus has a choice to become either a karmi and live in the material life or become an energy which is basically a sat or eternity. And this eternal energy is usually found only in the spiritual world. It is existential potency, Samvit energy is actually cognitive energy, and it is related to the knowledge or chit. It's about the fact that Krishna knows about himself and everyone else. Living entity has a possibility to know Krishna through this energy. Ladini potency or energy is a pleasure potency of the Lord, and that's actually nothing but Srimati Radha Rani as Ladini Shakti Murti. Ananda or bliss or the pleasure potency are the three different names of this energy. And Jiva and Krishna gets transcendental bliss through this energy. This energy basically is the pure love of God. But when you have that as an impure, adulterated, that's found in material world. The spiritual world has the Ladini potency, which is in the form of a pure love. So these are the various energies that we see that the Lord has, and Lord is playing everything through his energies. As always been said by Srila Prabhupada, energy and energetic are not different. And so energy and energetic, that is Lord and his energy, are one and the same. It's the energy which is spread all around, and we call that the God is all pervasive. So there is no difference between the Lord and the Lord's energy. Lord expands through his energies. Srila Prabhupada explains in detail about many other things. One of the things that we'll go through is what we were going through yesterday about the allegorical explanation of Narada Muni. And we'll look at three things. Number one, the allegory of Narada Muni. Number two, what Haryasvas understand. And number three, what is Haryasvas' conclusion? In this verse, it is considered a house made up of 25 elements. That's the allegory that has been used here. What Haryasvas understood is the Supreme Lord is the reservoir of 25 elements. He controls them and causes their manifestation. What you see as a material manifestation. So what is the conclusion of Haryasvas? What is the benefit if one engages in karma, not knowing that Supreme Person? As we go further and further, Haryasvas are getting more and more determined that their primary duty is to know the detail about the Supreme Personality of the Godhead and to go back to Godhead. So these are the sequences going on in analogy. and in allegory to explain the difference, as I said earlier, between the material and the spiritual world, and telling them in such a way that Haridas themselves would understand and determine to go back to God instead of entering into the material life and producing children as their father ordered. It's quite a nice approach that I feel, which is not very easily found in the literatures these days. He's explaining the allegory and then trying to look at what the opposite party understands out of it and what that party ultimately concludes. So it is the understanding and conclusion, and that understanding and conclusion of the party to whom it is told would be according to his level or the platform where his understandings are. Fortunately, Haridas are very well advanced and pious personality. They are almost liberated souls, and they are not being contaminated by the material world. So they will decide ultimately, we'll know what happens at the end of 3 more verses. So we have verse number 18, 19, and 20 to go. 20th is the last verse of allegory, and then 21 and 22 will tell us what exactly they decide and they do it. So it's a nice kind of sequence that has been produced from 1 to 22 verses, wherein the first 5 verses explain to us who Haridas are, what Daksha is doing, etc. And then 6 to 9 verses, 3 verses, explains all about the various allegories that Narada speaks. Each allegories are picked up from verse number 6 to 9 and into verses 10 to 20. And in this 11 verses, it is described what exactly Haridas understand and conclude. At the end, in verse number 21 and 22, they explain the entire conclusion of the entire episode. And then we come to know their understanding and their decision. I hope I am making the bird eye view very clear about what we are going through. Any question, any doubt, any query, any addition, any commentary, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Go ahead, Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. It's very nice verse and so many instructions are within it. So like inside it, Prabhuji. So
Yes.
Narad Muni has given a really straightforward instruction and very clearly he's explained, and same time Prabhupada has given in last lines he said like there's no profit in such activities, one must engage himself in the Krishna consciousness moment, Prabhuji. So I think since childhood we should have learned, because till this stage coming to till this stage where we are learning, Prabhuji, like we have almost spent our time, valuable time, and now we are learning. So it's learning for everyone in the society. So
That's very, very true, Madhusoni Mataji. It's very nicely done that if you look at the way the whole thing has been put up for us, is very wonderful, unique, and I really love the whole spread of it. And look at Prabhupada's explanations and purpose. He so nicely explains, and still he keeps many things not repeating. And he understands that fine, you have learned Gita, so you know the basics. So he explains only the end of it. And look at his beautiful part. He always tells at the end, what is the profit if you don't do this? So he's very blunt about it. And really, if you really look at it, you suddenly get a blow on your face. Oh, what am I doing? And that's the only way. I think we all are such materialists. This is the only way to turn us around into spirituality. So we should be really eternally grateful for finding different kinds or different ways in which to explain the absolute truth or the Lord Himself and our duty to go back to Godhead. It's very, very nice. I love this, and that's why I'm going through again and again. Thank you, Madhusoni Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, it's very, very nice. The scientists and the philosophers, they are trying to find out the truth, but the absolute truth is the real truth, and that is what we have to find out. It's very, very nicely. Otherwise, what's the use of this scientific knowledge, and then also the philosophical mental speculation? So they are not, ultimately they are material. So we have to go for that knowledge, Atato Brahma Jijnasa, whom Krishna is the ultimate. So that is very, very nicely he has explained in this, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Madhuvai Mataji. Thank you for that revelation. That's very wonderful. It's really true that we are still purely material, really speaking, and real neophytes. We have been here for 5, 6, 7 years, but then we're still learning ABC of it. And to explain to us nicely, to go back to Godhead and to leave the material world, I think there is no other way better than this to explain that. Thank you, Madhuvai Mataji. Thank you very
Also,
much.
the beautiful one analogy has given explanation how the Krishna is the source of everything light, like the fire is the source of this thing, light and heat. Like that, Krishna is the source of everything. So nicely he has given in the
Yes.
purport. So to make us understand, so nice.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madhuvai Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji.
If there are no further comments, thank you very much for attending the class. I wish you all a wonderful Monday and have a nice Krishna conscious day. Vacha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Thank you very much, all of you. Hare Krishna to all of you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
Hare Krishna,
Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.